Hey everybody, and welcome to Bandite's Let's Sculpt January day 7. The subject is bones, and let's jump right into it. Wow, I'm really awake. I just came back from town. How far is the stream behind? Quite a bit. Okay, but we're live. Everything is working. My music is being too epic. Let's put in some calm jazz. Yeah, sure. I just got home, so I kind of have to make myself comfortable again. Busy lives. Alright, so bones. Today's topic is bones. And I have no idea what to do with this. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the stream. Let's make this a bit more appealing. Hey everybody, and welcome to the stream. My name is Cedric, and today we're gonna sculpt some bones apparently. I just typed in bones character into Pinterest and I see a lot of pirate stuff. Not sure. This is the first topic I think where I don't really have a straightforward idea. It only took us a week till we gave up. What a good run. No. Let's just, you know what? Let's just start off like we did some sculpts where we just do something and we'll go from there, right? So I'm just gonna very basically try to get, I'm starting to get a feel for the new snake hook. Maybe I'll make something more cartoony, who knows. Oh, man. I'm just gonna stick these two together. I'm just gonna read it. There we go. I'm gonna make a basic skull, and we'll see where we go from there. I'll just make a very realistic skull. Maybe for once we'll make something more simple. Let's see, like, I don't have any skulls like reference at me at the moment, so let's see how close I get to the actual thing. And it's still a little bit stylized, of course, but stylized doesn't mean it doesn't have to be correct anatomically. I'm starting to get a feel for sculpting. I'm really happy with this year's SculptJanuary. Normally around this time I would like start to give up because I'm not really happy with what I'm producing. Chief line should be a little broader, I think, and the nose bridge. Let's go a little bit farther. There we go. So basic skull. What do we do with this though? I mean, the shape is still very simple, right? I think the chin should be a little bit skinnier. There we go. And I don't want to make anything realistic. Can't be bothered to get texture brushes in here and configure all that. I kind of want to stay creative. Keep on drawing and all that. We'll keep those texture brushes for next year. No. Yeah, what can we do with this? So we have the basic outline of a skull. Now I want to do something creative with it. What haven't we done yet? We could do more hair. Like, we haven't touched a lot of hair. Could use some more hair practice. Some armor, some medieval thingy. I still kind of want to do something fun. It's interesting to look at. Because, I mean, yesterday we did Batman and it's all fine and dandy, but you look at it, it's like, oh, cool, Batman, but like, you didn't make anything super original. I kind of want to make a new kind of character, maybe. Let's see, you know what, let's just go crazy and start adding elements with the new snake hook brush. You know. Let's start. Whoa. What did I do there? What was that? No. I did something crazy for a second. And let's go a little bit funky with this, you know. Let's start from a human skull and then start seeing what we can do with this. There's multiple horns. My fall off is still on linear. Not that that is a bad thing, of course. Kind of don't want to make it too sharp already. An Aztec Queen, maybe. Yeah, now I'm really like just sketching, trying to get some forms in here, starting from something. Let's bring these cheekbones out. There we go. Kind of alien head, maybe. Who knows? The topic is character, so I kind of want to design a new character of some kind. Like, I kind of want to bring a neck already in here, although I'm not gonna have it a bony neck. Oh, just what am I doing? There we go. So we do that. Let's have. Ooh, remember when I said that I figured out the snake hook brush? It was a lie. Sometimes I lie just to cover up my insecurities. Hello. You can hear the delightful construction crew that's the Christmas holidays over, so they start working again. That's fun. Let's see here. Let's scroll through some. Oh, that is a cool design. It's a little bit more Egyptian. It's a lot of hard surface. Kind of want to avoid that. But I kind of like the design I'm seeing. It's more of a solid shape as kind of a crown. I think we do kind of like these shapes, right? These round shapes. Let's just go like this. I'm just going crazy with this one. Let's see where we get. It kind of looks like a fawn or some kind of devil beast, devil man crybaby. I saw it in the Netflix catalogus yesterday. It was I don't want to see that again. I saw it twice already. It's in my opinion, it's a really good show. It takes the original Devilman, which was kind of like a kid show, right? It was a superhero show, and makes it very, 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 very freaky. What if I have the lower jaw like a horse's jaw? Alright, bring the shape in here. Have different animal characteristics as the base for Just scrolling through Pinterest and then applying what I see. So creativity is born, you know. Just try crazy stuff. That's pretty cool. It's more like a beak. Maybe I should try it like... Oh, that's the wrong brush. There we go. But that might be a bit too much. Just sketching. Just sketching. Kind of like monkeys have these protruded more. A little bit. A bit more out there. And the match should be a little bit more open. So let's drag this away from each other. There we go. Maybe it's a kind of dragon skull. Who knows? Now it definitely looks more like a dragon. Do I want to go with it? This will make for a very interesting time lapse, I think. Seeing the human skull being deformed to such a degree. This kind of feels like a little bit too cliche. So kind of want to deform it to something a little bit more. Because now the shape is, I mean, I thought it was a good thing that maybe it started looking like a dragon, but I kind of want to make something a little bit more original. Not that dragons are bad, I love dragons, but you know. And this makes it a little bit too animalistic, so I'm just gonna, let's see what shape we can make from this. Looks like a granny now. So the gum shaped size here. Yeah, this is gonna take a while until we come up with something. Like, I want to make something I'm happy with, right? So without running into a sculptor's block. But at the same time, I don't want to overthink it. Like sometimes you just gotta go and make something, right? Just make a shape in here. Just making shapes. Oh, maybe it is a granny. A bony devil. Oh, why not? Just happy little strokes here. There we go. Just gonna remesh it. We can still remesh a lot to fix our little mistakes. Well, mistakes. There we go. Kind of happier. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna kind of remesh it. I'm gonna use the rake brush just to kind of like simplify it again, because I'm not really happy with what we got here. And maybe even let's go really crazy now. Yeah, maybe not too crazy. Let's go into edit mode here really quickly. Edit mode to wireframe. No. Oh, no. Can't see the outline of what I've. Oh, I was in. Yeah, okay. That's just in sculpt mode. What's going on? Oh boy, that's not good. Okay, so Blender did a funny there. Just yeah, this starts to become very funny. Let's just deflate this again, right, to avoid mistakes. There we go. And just to overlap this. There we go. Now we got a simpler shape again. I mean, now I kind of see something that I maybe like. Man, this has taken all kinds of shapes. Like, I am trying to implement stuff that I know or stuff that I see on the other screen. So I'm not going completely random for if this turns out to be great, that doesn't look like I'm this talented mastermind, but I'm just like a regular old bastard trying to sculpt something cool. What? I'm gonna leave the lower jaw. I see a lot of cool designs here that don't have a lower jaw. It's not the best way of going through life, I guess. So it's gonna go for something very simplistic, of course. Let's see here. Let's get these shapes in something I like a little bit more. Maybe we should base ourselves off some kind of animal again. Yeah. Use the flatten brush and like smooth out this curve into here. Yeah. Just go over with the flatten brush. And on the other side, of course, kind of want to use the inflate brush. Itself again. Yeah, I try to avoid, like, every time I'm sculpting, not to have like these flappy. I like to work with big shapes because that's a little bit handier to sculpt with. Yeah, it's not coming today. Okay, you know what? Never mind. I'll show you a trick how I start off these sculpts. And then we'll start again. So what I mostly do is press Ctrl 4 to go, or like no. What I mostly do now, I used to do this, but what I used to do now is go to scope mode, remesh a simple thing to like 0.205, smooth the normals, and then you get this like ugly thing. And I could smooth it, but I like to do it the old way and just factor it to a sphere, cost to a sphere with factor 0, apply this. Then I start sculpting. And then you have like 50k, no, 26k. Yeah. I think I was on the right track. So, but then I just started trying too much. So I'm just gonna start off with something that I'm seeing, like some kind of animal type. Let's just start there, right? Let's just get a design going here. Kind of bony. Let's get our basic shapes in here. Yeah, I like the shape a lot more than what we had earlier already. Oh, this is the front view, yeah. Doesn't really matter. Let's go here. Let's make this flat. There you go. It's just to find some shapes here. So we're kind of have, like, normally you shouldn't try to design characters in 3D, of course. Like, but I'm just trying to apply what designers in 2D use into 3D, like finding shapes, finding things that work. Hey Gregor, how are you doing? Can you show what you're referencing from? No, I talked about this. Yeah, I do get the question a lot, like, hey, what are you referencing? I can tell you what I'm doing. I just looked up Bones character in Pinterest, and then a lot of stuff comes up, a lot of good stuff. Like Pinterest for me is the way to go for influence. But the thing is, I do have something coming up where I can show the reference. So I do have something interesting where I'll make a character and I can show you the reference and I can show you the process of actually being in contact even with the designer and what you should look for in a design. But I'm not referencing one design now, but I don't want to get into the trouble of people contacting me like, hey, you kind of used my design, I see aspects of it back in your design, and then trying to claim it as their own work or being all the drama about, you know, if I make a work that is 100% off of somebody's work, I did it once without asking. Since then I kind of learned to ask. I want a ghoulish shape in here. I want to really make this out there. But yeah, one tip I can give you, if you're looking to, if you see a nice design, like most concept artists I've talked to, or you know, are very cool about that kind of stuff. Oh, come on. Like if they hear like, oh, can I make your stuff in 3D? They will mostly always be like, hell yeah. I think I've never personally met a designer who was like, nah, I don't want people making it in 3D. But sometimes there's the issue of people putting stuff in their portfolio that's actually like trademarked for a company. Like they made freelance stuff and then they asked, this is pretty cool. And they asked like, can I put it on my portfolio? And then they were like, sure. And then somebody else made it in 3D and put it on their portfolio. And then they get contacted by the company and like, yeah, why are you putting our character in your portfolio? And that can get like into some pretty awkward situations, to say the least. And also, I did it like for the previous series. I used reference without asking, but more like derivative. So I didn't use any character designs. It was more like for a mood board. But I did, the only images I used, I did reference the artist. So it was more like, but now I'm looking at different elements. I'm trying to derive from their artworks. But I know that there's people out there that see this as art theft, I guess. Although such a thing doesn't exist because all art is theft. But no, I can't really. Short answer, no. I just don't want to get into it. Like, I know 99% of artists are cool with it. But just like showing their artwork for purposes, especially if you're trying to learn people something, they're cool with it. Like, oh yeah, it's cool what you're doing. I wanna overemphasize the shape here a little bit. I think there's something coming here. I can feel it. Spins my eyeballs. Not sure why I need eyeballs for a skeleton, but I kind of like eyeballs. It gives so much more life. There we go. Let's write a script that does it automatically. Okay. Kind of want to add some stuff to this. Subtract it from this. Kind of like an overbite. Sorry for the noise. They're repairing the roof across the street, and yeah, this will be here every day. Or I have to start. Okay, this starts to look like a nice character. I was going for creepy, but sure. That's the thing about like trying to make one character, like everything goes basically. It would be kind of cheap not to correct my mistakes here. I think the reason it looks happy because the eyebrows are so, because he looks looks like he's smiling, to be honest, because I made this one. Yeah, I think pushing this to the back will kind of fix it a little bit. Come on. Stop being so happy. Meanwhile, you know what, let him be happy. I don't care. I can see why he looks happy, because I made these lines in here, but I kind of like these lines. It's starting to look a little bit high. But you know, I don't mind. It can be high. I understand. Thanks for answering. No problem. If you have any questions, I'll answer almost any questions in the chat. Like I got like people worried about how open I am sometimes, but I think like information should be shared, and because people even at some point started asking about my rates or asking about how much you should ask as a freelancer, but the answer is always the same. Like, I probably can't tell you. I can tell you what the basic rates are in Belgium for starters, but it's always like the only tip I can give: never charge an hourly rate. I need to excuse me. Whew. But it was a sneeze. But it's like, yeah, you shouldn't. I don't want to go into discussion just by confronting myself with it again. But I never charge hourly, because I think like if you charge hourly, then it's like, oh, I spent an hour more on this, and we said that this was my hourly contract, so I'm gonna ask for so much euros more. And then the client is like, yeah, but this was the price we agreed on, and you said it would take so many hours. And then you get so many discussions from that, and I've been in so much discussions, or I've had friends in those discussions, or I've seen like people, like freelancers working for people I've worked for, and but just always the same bullshit. So what I always suggest people do is find product prices that you or what's even better is to oh, that's a little bit, yeah, I should remesh more detailed. Let's just go to 1.9. I don't care. Let's go to freaking amazing amounts of detail. Yeah, because this is already kind of like, for instance, I had prices for simple 3D object, complex 3D object, just modeling, shading, and I had all these prices, and I put those on my invoices. I didn't do a lot of 3D work, but like as well for logos or websites, I said, yeah, it's on all in package. And then I said to the client, look, there's normally 2 review rounds in there, usually. Like, one, I will send you a rough version of something, and I will clearly brief them on what is still missing and what will be added. But it's always dangerous, because if you're working with clients that are not really have a know-how in the 3D pipeline, like for instance, I didn't do this myself, but I work for people who then sent animatics to clients, and clients were like, they called us and were like, oh, we're really not happy with the end result, with the results of the animatic, because you said it would look more like this, and they sent images of like fully lit scenes, and we're like, yeah, but it's not lit yet. But like, people who are not in the 3D industry don't understand that. So yeah, sending animatics is always dangerous. But I've worked for clients where I sent an animatic that they knew that was just look at the animation, and then if you're happy with the animation, we can go on with the with lighting and refining the animation a little bit. And I don't know what I'm making. I'm just like, I'm just letting my hand flow and making these shapes, and I'm kind of happy with what's coming out. Sometimes you don't have to think too much to I think the nose could be a little bit more interesting though. Look more like a skull's nose, maybe. Yeah, why not? I just have the shape in here. I'm trying to get into a more stylized sense of character creation, because I really love the style, and I want my portfolio to reflect that. Always let your portfolio reflect what you love. There's no use in filling your portfolio with creating assets if you really want to make characters. If you really want to make characters and you're sure about it, Stop making assets. Also the other way around. If you want to make assets, if you want to make environments, if you're like blown away by environments like Coco, like this makes me think of Coco somehow. But, it's a skeleton. I mean, maybe you can add some details later. So like a little bit Dias de los Muertos. I still don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I'm gonna make him a little bit more mellow. I'm just basing myself the basic shape of a skeleton, and it should be a line here, and then not sure if I wanna make a shape here. Put a T in. I think that's fine. This could be a little bit of a more simple sculpt. Nope, that's the wrong button. What was I talking about? If I talk too much, please let me know. You can always mute me and put on some music. I should explain more of what I'm doing, I guess. These are more like laid back. The disclaimer and description is like these are not tutorials. It's just me. I stream, so I force myself to do stuff, not to delay it until the day after. That's the main reason. And the second reason, of course, to teach you guys. Like, if you can learn a thing or two, then that makes me happy. So I'm just gonna use this brush, the pinch brush. That's it. There we go. There you go. And we can define a shape in here. Out a little bit. I only noticed there's no. Let's flatten this out because I'm not really happy with. Should be a little bit more round, right? Follow the eye. There we go. And push this a little bit in without destroying the detail. We're not detailing it, we're just trying to come up with shapes. Can make him angry. Kind of wanna just make him a high skeleton. Just smooth this out again. Just I'm gonna force a simple shape a little bit out of here. No, if he's smiling, then we can't even go fully all the way. Just have to find a way to make this a little bit more interesting, I guess. Oh god. Let's remesh. Yeah, I shouldn't put too much effort. I'm just trying to see how it looks. I'm not trying to refine things preliminary. Or how do you say this? There we go. Shape. Whoops, this wrong brush. There we go. And just follow. I don't know what to do with this character. I'm just gonna redo the shapes a little bit. Yeah. Just popping in to say you are the greatest. Ah, Tuki. Tuki, you're the best. You get a gold medal. There you go. I don't know what to do with this. This is a hard subject. Like, I know why we came up with this. Or who came up with this? Was it Julian? I thought like maybe make an Undertale character. But it's also like it's so many different shapes and it's not, that would be more modeling than sculpting, I guess. So yeah, that went pretty quickly out of the possibilities. Just gonna make this a bit more natural shape. Looks more like a robot than a skeleton, doesn't it? That's bad. Just gonna push this in a little bit. So. You know what? If we're going for the granular look, let's go all the way. Let's go for something weird. Let's go for something out there. Like, we might just as well. Can I give her lips without it looking too weird? It looks weird, but I love it. You know, sometimes you just gotta go with what you have. I don't really know what I have yet, but let's bring this shape in here a little bit more. Oh boy. Love making weird stuff. I just want people to go like, what did you make? I love this. Oh man. Oh, let's just go all the way with this. And it's just like a super, like, let's go crazy with the cheekbones, right? Let's go like, I want the shape to be correct though. And I want, if you go for this, like, female character, let's get it right. Almost like look like a RuPaul character, like drag queen, skeleton drag queen. I mean, there's a character I wouldn't have thought of in a million years. Here we are. Let's just snake hook for this. Just want to do a little bit sharper. That's a bit too much. Just follow the S curve a little bit more. Bring it back in a little bit. Maybe even maybe slide a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, I might get demonetized for this, but that's just, you know, if we're gonna do it, let's do it right. Just gonna start making Wait, can we get away with this? Oh. I don't know what I'm making. Just now I'm going straight to the evil place for this. I don't want to give the impression that she is a... Let's just say that she is. Interesting. Is it Maleficent? Oh man, I don't know how you see Maleficent in this, but I would go see an eye doctor, man. I mean, yeah, one could be forgiven for like these cheekbones. No, it's not Maleficent. Be a crazy reinterpretation of Maleficent. Don't worry, I'm laughing more at myself than with you. This is terrible. This is everything I hoped I would never make in 3D. Let's try and... Oh man. Like, what am I creating? I'm making a monster. Going back to the yeah, it's a little bit too blobby here and there, so the thing I am going to do is use the flattener a little bit to simplify, and I think the cheekbones are way out. It's a little bit too much. Like I wanted stylized. I kind of wanted, this is, I don't know what this is, don't ask me. Somebody's rolling their eyes. I kind of like where this is going, but this is bothering me. Like the fact that these shapes are a bit too complex. We want simple shapes, right? We want it to look a little bit visually appealing. I just smooth it out, make sure it's just... I kind of want to... I want to make the lips a little bit thinner, because... I don't know. I kind of want the head to be a little bit bigger as well. Kind of bring it a little bit back more to human level. I'm not even sure about the eyes. Could just... Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take out the eyes. I think it looks better. Yeah. Yeah. It's just like a kawaii skeleton. Let's go with that. It's like, oh, sensei. Let's join the entire art community in making too many waifus. Oh man. There we go. Yeah, this starts to look like something. It's just a nightmare. I want to make the jaw a little bit. Now I kind of know what I want to make. Kind of have a better sense of where the proportions should be. Or yeah, I should be in such. Cheekbones, the jaw should like just be pushed in here. There we go. That's better. That's way better. Just saw that you have this Let's Make 3D movie series. Medal for effort. Huh. Never finished it. No, it's. I'm gonna finish it after this is done. That'll be the first task of or when I have some extra time, because it's the first week that like everybody starts working again, and I'm a little bit careful for now committing to 2 series before I get like series assignments and freelance stuff and all that. But yeah, check that out if you got the time. I am gonna make something a little bit more appealing to watch time and tutorial wise and learning. But yeah, I'm just trying to make stuff for you guys. In the meantime, be a little bit productive. Then I want simple shapes. I want the shapes really to. Okay, I love this. I love everything about this. Except that I made it. That I have to be the creator of this beast. Nah, it's fine. She's beautiful. She's kawaii. She's our waifu now. Our little skeleton waifu. A little bit more like, ooh, Sansi. My girlfriend isn't home for one stream and I'm doing this. She's probably watching on her phone or something. Yeah, I'm gonna redo the lips, don't worry. Redefine the shapes a little bit. Although that looks worse. I think what I want to do is kind of bring these shapes back, smooth them out, and kind of have this going in one shape without it looking like. I still want to go for that stylized, so big shapes, confident lines, keys to stylization, and as simple as lines as possible without destroying what you're trying to. You actually kind of want to create something that is as readable as possible, but as without conveying too many detail, right? This clutter, detail will just clutter out the piece. Actually, we give her kawaii lines. Should we do more like this? Yeah, let's do that a little later on. Hey Sculpt, how you doing? How you doing? Doing good? Doing fine. Don't ask me what I'm making. This might not be appropriate for your age. Avert your eyes, youngling. Why didn't I make my Patreon tiers Star Wars stuff? Like Padawan and... Oh, that's why. There's only Padawan, Knight, and Master. Got a message here from somebody. Oh, no. Nothing that needs my immediate attention. Let's go back to Pinterest. Not that I'm... Okay, let's just look at Kawaii. Oh god, I regret everything. I'm making the opposite of what I'm looking up. Everything is so chubby and cute, but this is just... Yeah, the lips, I'm gonna pout them a little bit more. Like this. Just they kind of go more in one shape. But that shape should be... there we go. And have this more round. I'm doing great. There's a storm outside. I had to walk home. Oh no! Hey, Metal Saw Picadura. How you doing? Hi everybody, welcome to the stream. I'm sorry that you had to walk through a storm, especially where you're coming from. Like, it doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Yeah, here it's just calm. It was a little bit raining earlier, but I think was it yesterday? Okay, I kind of want to just a little bit more. I don't think this shape should be in here. I'm not even sure why oh yeah, because I kind of want to draw the mouth line to all the way back. Kind of convey the message a little bit better that it's a skeleton. And that mouth line just runs here. And it kind of works actually, like it kind of goes here. It has a nice shape to it. So yeah, got that going for us. I'm kind of happy with the upper lip. I don't think I'm gonna remesh it anymore because I'm kind of happy with how this is starting to look. It's all in the details. I'll flatten this out. Oh man, yes. A broad jaw. That's crazy. I kind of like it. I love myself a woman with a broad jaw. There we go. Stick to the shape. Make consistent with the rest. Smooth it out, of course. Yeah, Jesus left me. Jesus left me a long time ago. This is what comes of it. Stay with Jesus, people. Or, you know, other religious figures. Which I'm not gonna name, just for the sake of not being an uber racist. The wind is so strong that it took my lower foot and I almost fell right on my face. Oh! What would you recommend for a beginner in Blender? Trying things on my own with time or following tutorials and material online? Both! Both! Now you should, if you're really starting out in Blender, yeah, there's so many answers to that, to be honest. Depends on what you want to do. But at the same time, if you're just starting out, you, I guess, don't really know what you want to do. But figure out why you're interested in 3D, right? Is it because you like animated movies? And then what do you like about animated movies? The characters, the environments, the fact that they can do crazy stuff, like visual effects, for instance. And then I would just start to, yeah, follow tutorials on that subject matter. But although, maybe make yourself first a a good all-rounder. I would definitely start with tutorials. If you're trying to figure stuff out on yourself, that's not going to work, I think. Because then you're... yeah, this is, I think, too complicated. I mean, it's easy. Like, 3D is not that hard. But You shouldn't be scared. But at the same time, it's, I think, too complex of a subject matter to try to figure out on your own. I mean, that counts for everything, really. Because people start to learn to draw, like, yeah, I just learned on my own, and nothing in their drawing technique is correct. They draw lines, they don't draw shapes. They draw eyes without drawing lines to make those eyes symmetrical. And some people got so annoyingly good at it that it's kind of good, but it's also still kind of off. And you get these very detailed drawings that just don't look very good because they don't know shading or they don't know. So yeah, start out with some courses, start with some, I mean, I would even say don't start with Blender, start with drawing. Anyway, I got better at a lot of stuff just because I learned to draw. So yeah, but I mean, that's my way. Everybody has their own way of learning. Mainly characters and short animation. Yeah, just start. Subscribe to my channel. That's what you should do. I'm terrible in advertising my own channel. There was some point like people asking, hey, do you know like good shading tutorials? And I like pointed them to 5 different channels, but not to my own channel. I was like, oh yeah, wait, there's my channel. Go to my channel. I'm a teacher. I learn stuff. No, but yeah, go to YouTube channels. I mean, there's plenty of them. As far as which one I would recommend, anything but Andrew Price, because he can. No, just kidding. Just the other question if there were rivalries, but nah, just kidding, man. Just kidding. Man, I would love to talk to Andrew Price someday, though. Because I don't think I see eye to eye with him with like how to. I mean, we're not really, you know, we both work in Blender, but he does very different stuff as what, like, for instance, I think Julian and I, like Julian Kaspar, are mostly interested in the same stuff, and he's like a couple of levels ahead of me. Like, if I make a sculpt, it's about the level of his sculpts of like 2 years ago, and he also has the patience to really refine stuff, and he has discipline and all that. He's so good. Why is he so good? I know more people like that. Like, nah, it's just like, it's devotion. It's gonna refine the body a little bit more. I really love where this is going, by the way. I have no idea what I should do with it, but what am I gonna call this piece? What am I gonna tell my mother? I'm sorry, Mom. Especially if you're watching. Don't look. It's not for you. This is a rule on YouTube. If your mother can't watch your content, then why are you making it? At the same time. I really want to emphasize the bosom of the lady. I don't want to pull focus to it, but it's kind of, oh shit, it's kind of like an added character trait. I'm just gonna do this, and I'm just gonna do this, and then it's really like, it shouldn't be in your face, but I respect women. I don't try to objectify anybody, but hey, I think this kind of character kind of needs. I mean, you all know this, right? You all know, like, the people who stick their boobies out front. There's nothing wrong with it. I think the whole, I think people should stop confusing, I'm mainly talking about people actually counter-arguing feminism and stuff, like, because there's a lot of people like, oh, but what about this? Isn't this like, feminists are stupid? No, feminists are not stupid. Feminists are just like, without feminism, people, like, women couldn't do shit in society, you know. But I'm just talking about, there's nothing wrong about sexualizing stuff, because I've seen people definitely, like, take for instance like cosplayers. Like, there's female cosplayers all over Twitter that like can allude content. Not that I would know. I don't watch this stuff. Where did you learn how to sculpt a mouth? It is so hard. Go to Pinterest. Go to Pinterest right now and look up mouth reference. Now start drawing. Start drawing everything you see. Start drawing the realistic stuff, the cartoony stuff. Start drawing in 3D. Start sculpting. Start sculpting 50 mouths, like with that reference. Really figure out what the shape of the mouth is. That's how I did. It's like, yeah, I again lost my sketchbook, but I have a page like full of lips and mouths. Basically, it's not super hard. Am I still? Yeah. It's just, this is not a tutorial, but it's basically, if you think about it, the upper thing is like, oh my god, upper thing is like two cylinders like this, and the lower one is really like two spheres, a little bit like this, and then you kind of have to shape it in a way that then here you get like a nice curve, and then up here kind of get a nice curve, and then you kind of smooth it, you grab the pinch brush, and then you kind of bring it all to one point. That is the basicest of gists, you know, and then you just have to put it in shape that it actually goes in a half circle, because if you look at it from above or below, it also has to go in a half circle. So your jaw, it's half a cylinder, so it also has to go in that shape, right? So you have to keep that in mind. And then, you know, the mouth doesn't stop at the lips. You have all these extra shapes and like these muscles up here. Like this is part of your mouth. This is part of your mouth. So got this going. And then in general, the general rule is that, you can't see it here, but if you imagine the nose would be here, that the tip of the nose to your chin with the lips form one line, and that your upper lip, in most cases, like you have characters or you have people where that's not the case, but your upper lip sticks over the underlip. Anyway, what was I saying to endangering myself about feminism? Yeah, but it's just like experience. You really have to sculpt 50 mouths, and you got there. I think his shoulders should be a little bit like bigger together. And yeah, that's better. It's a kawaii skeleton. Oh man, what have I created? No, it's fine. Yeah, I started this out trying to make something creepy or realistic, or maybe even more like yeah, something my audience could maybe relate to. I don't know, something fun. Then I made this. I should be ashamed. I'm gonna pray after this. Oh my god, that was really helpful. I need to screen record that. Well, the stream will still be online. You can rewind. You're probably not listening to me anymore. You're probably already 10 minutes in the past. But there's a lot of tutorials like that. I kind of want to do these tutorials as well, but I feel like I'm 95% to the way of actually mastering this. Like, not mastering, that would be a bit too much, but to kind of have this, to understand it enough. Because to do, you need to master something, but to, oops, not on the correct object. But of course, to teach, you need to understand. And I kind of understand, like, anatomy, especially in the face and stuff, enough to sculpt them efficiently. And sculpt them in a way that you kind of want to have this more scality. So let's just... yeah, there we go. So I might start doing a sculpting course on that. I might. I'm not making any promises. I'm so making a promise right now. First, there's another thing coming up, because I'm going to do a lot this year. 2020 is going to be the year of Bandit, except if I get a full-time job somewhere. No. I want to do more with this channel. Last year was a bit... I mean, I'm making excuses. I'm making excuses so hard, but it was like the year of the 2.8 hype and the whole... and like... I talked about this before, but like where it was more about showing off features in Blender than it was about creating characters and such. But I think I slowly start to have an audience that's more interested in actually creating stuff than to find a cool feature in Blender. Especially that's what I reckon from the chat. But you make it look so easy. But I mean, it's really in the hands. Like, you know what's really hard to do for a child is walking, right? If you see a child walk, it's like the craziest thing, right? They're like left foot, right foot. Oh my god, how do I keep track of this? I already have to move my right foot while my left foot is still like doing stuff. Marilyn Monroe. It's kind of like a skeleton Marilyn Monroe, yeah. When you make a mouth like this, should you try to sculpt inside of mouth or model it? That depends. Just do it. Yeah, it's but we adults, we can walk and do other stuff at the same time. It's amazing. But it's just because repetition. It's just after a while, your brain kind of starts to be like, I know this, and it's just there's no special tricks. It's because sometimes things look so easy. It's because, you know, you just master it. And even like, I know that there's masters of anatomy out there, or sculptors who, like the mouths I make, they're still like, but actually it should be this way. And of course, like, I still make mistakes, but as long as the basics are correct, you're kind of like good to go. Kind of like what I did here with the shapes. Kind of the line follows here, but the hard edges here. So that's kind of cool. And I don't want to brag too much about my stuff, but it's kind of cool, you know. We're still missing something. A woman reference. I never ever draw or sculpt without another screen or like paper around me with reference on it. I think that's also one of the most important stuff. Is like, you have the internet nowadays, and on the internet there's everything. If you want to make a smiling face, look up smiling face. If you want to make somebody whose eyes just shut, eyes shut. Also, to answer about that mouth question, should you make the inside of the mouth? That's a very easy question. Are you making your character to have the mouth open or not? Anyway, sculpting is mostly a pre-production thing to before it becomes retopologizes and baking and all that stuff. And then mostly the inside of the mouth is made as well. But for sculpting, pure, if you're making single frame sculpts, whatever, just make the inside of the mouth if you need it. If you don't need it, don't make it. But for animation, of course, you need it, because at some point a character probably is going to be like, hello. And if they say hello, their mouth goes open, and then you need the inside of the mouth. But I mean, there have been instances where, you know, you make a character and you don't need the inside of the mouth. Sure. Why not? But it's mostly like, just do what you want. Like, you don't need to do anything, really. And you only... yeah, I'm just gonna... Oh, somebody's home. Quick, everybody, hide! Hey. How was shopping?
Good.
How do you like my new sweater?
Pretty.
She bought me a new sweater. It's amazing. What do you think?
Okay.
Can you please come into frame so we can see your reaction? Oh man.
It's a female skeleton.
Yes, very good. I did a good job. It's
Oh
readable.
wait, could you turn it in profile? It looks like the skull from the Crystal Skull. It has that kind of shape.
Man, you look too many garbage movies.
And why, may I ask?
Well, the subject is bones, but I misread it as boner. And that's not true.
Oh my God.
No, it's just like I started drawing or sculpting, more to speak.
Ew.
This came out. What?
Okay.
Yeah.
And she has a duck face.
Yeah, she's like.
So actually, she is part bone, part flesh.
Yes. I wouldn't go too deep into the lore. yeah, it looks like something from Coco. Actually, I think I might be influenced because this morning I watched a small documentary from this, a small snippet from the SIGGRAPH talk about Coco, and I suggest you check that out because the techniques they use to, like how they designed the characters to still be, because they have eyeballs and eyelids within the eye sockets, like a person does, but as skeletons, and they still move it like a little bit unrealistic, and they had to find a nice line between it feeling like bone but also having a stylized look to it. And I can really recommend checking that out because that's really worth it. So yeah, if you want to learn more, check out talks by the pros, right? Go and check out SIGGRAPH talks or Blender conference talks, like. But yeah, one tip I always give everybody is to not stick to Blender stuff. Go check out just Pixar stuff, just the masters of the art stuff, and don't like, because the techniques are the same everywhere. Modeling is modeling, sculpting is sculpting. Shading has been like is the same everywhere. Everybody uses. I mean, it's a little bit technically different, sure, but the main techniques are so the same that it doesn't really. Oh, damn it! Now I need to smooth that up because I think I need to. Whatever. I'm just gonna leave this like it is because I'm just gonna open this up a little bit and then close this up. Like it's more pushing. I'm just checking now if there's an element I can add still. I think it's fine on, so yeah, because I think like I've seen modeling tutorials and sculpting tutorials that were totally not in Blender, but I still copied them in Blender because it's like you have two kinds of tutorials really. One are technically tell you what to do, like press Ctrl A, press that button. And then there's the other kind of tutorial. The tutorials that I like way more is kind of like telling how to do something artistically. Like, hey, if you want to make lips, like just how I explained how to make lips, you have these shapes. Somebody watched and uses a ZBrush, they could totally replicate it in a ZBrush. And I don't like the technical kind of stuff because it's, you know, I kind of know in Blender what to use. Sometimes I'm kind of surprised by, hey, there's a button for this, but it's like, yeah, after a while, there's nothing groundbreaking that you haven't found out in Blender that somebody's like, it's not like Blender fell from the heaven and we're like still looking for a cool feature we can use. Although some people do that on YouTube and that's all they do, like, because some stuff like isn't documented well, and then if a tutorial finds out that there's some kind of funky feature you can use once or twice to make a cool effect, and they'll make a tutorial about it. Why am I complaining about other tutorials so much? I did that too. Like, I had one of my famous videos is the pointiness video. When it just came out, I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a video about it because I like the pointiness factor. It was something I wanted to share, but you know, now you get like 50 videos of the newest features in 2.8, then it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't super agree with it. Yeah, I think the only thing I want to add, and I'm not gonna even add them in Sculpt. I'm just gonna, how am I gonna do this? How do you make a, I need more shapes. Well, let's just go for the UV sphere. Let's make this a little bit more simpler. Although it's not really necessary, let's keep it detailed. I'm just gonna do a little bit of modeling where I separate, no, let's separate V, can't rip. Oh, I just wanna, it's not ripped, okay, rip, okay, cool. I can press, select the lower one, kind of make this, I kind of want to just make a capsule, press F, it doesn't work, so Control Z, F3, bridge, edge loops, oh, the F3 button, I love it. solid, okay, and then make this kind of want to make these. Can I do Alt S? Will that work? No. Median. Yes, it does kind of work. I kind of put them like this. This, and that's just what you can redo, right? Repeat, last shift R, yeah. And they're the same distance. Just join them up. Why not? And then we're just gonna bring them here. Cool. And we're just gonna mirror them. And kind of add a funky detail. When you're sculpting a character, how do you apply different materials if it's the same object? For example, if you have skin and clothes, should I sculpt on different layers? I'm a little bit against putting. If you really want to, okay. So here's the thing: if you really want to, yeah, what's it called? If you really want to texture clothing and skin and all that, we apologize first. Don't. I mean, there is what you. I mean, I have to save. I'm still on the start file. I should really stop. It's been an hour. Booms. Man, people in chat remind me to save from time to time. What a crisis. Just kidding. Because the thing is, there's only one way to texture really, and that is to a sculpt, and that's to vertex paint. So you can do that, but there's, I mean, it's really slow. You have X mirrors, so that makes things a little bit easier. Oh. And you could apply the colors and then apply everything that repeats, like the texture and stuff. You could create in, because I mean, this has been modified because it used to leave so many stub lines. So you could do it a little bit like this. Right, but it's like if you want to start adding detail and stuff, it doesn't really go fast. So for drawing textures, it's not really. You can always see that it's still like slow. And there's no way in 2D you can check out your texture or filter out certain stuff or like change it in Photoshop. So that's really like why I wouldn't do it. So the method I am recommending is that you retopologize it, unwrap it, and I know it's a lot of work and I hate doing it too, but it really pays off in the end. So retopologize it and then texture it just the old way. It's like I can do it like this, right? And then yeah, this is also a problem. I can't really color pick from here. Flats. There we go. Is broken as fuck. You have to color pick and then, oh my god, like as long as they don't fix the color picker, like the most basic thing you need. I'm not recommending anything texture painting related in Blender. This has been broken since the first release of 2.8 and I'm so like not okay with it. So now I have to kind of guess the color. It's more saturated. Lighter, it's more yellowish. There we go. It sucks. Yeah, it makes me color picker just doesn't work. Yeah, it gets added to the color palette, so here it is. And that's not even correct. Come on, it's not even the same color, and I'm in flat in the viewport, and then probably somebody has a solution out there for, but I'm like, I don't need a solution for this. I need this to work out of the box. And what you can do in shading is make a new shader, and then you could go input, vertex color, choose the right channel, put it in the color, and then you would kind of have the color in here in your shader, and you could do it like this, but I would do Substance Painter. But yeah, you can separate the objects and then it becomes way better. And I'm just gonna leave this to our clay brush, and this I'm gonna give a new brush. This is gonna be our shader emission. There we go. Gonna make this pink. It's glowy. I'm gonna move to. There we go. Just gonna move a little bit more in profile. What have I created? Maybe a little bit more from above. I think I want a square thingy for this one. Come on. Make a nice edge. Have it really distributed. Depends on how much glow we want. You can put it here. Could be cool. Nah. Yeah, you can make like this weird silhouette, this Fresnel effect, and that kind of. Let's fix our lighting first, shall we? I kind of want not the same lighting as our Batman. How many LEDs do we have? Let's delete one. Let's just have a 3-point lighting system. Let's light them one by one. So let's just pull this one to 0 and pull this one to 0 first, and then we can light our lights one by one. I kind of want the light to come from here. I kind of want this to be a little bit neutral. I just think like go to this. I think I kind of want to make them even, sort of like this. I might be a bit too much, a bit little. A fine line. Yeah, position them a little bit better. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I have to find the other light. Here we go. I start lighting the other side. I can put a rim light. We also make pink. This. So maybe connect this from above. Why not? And this goes into shadow. Actually, looks kind of nice. This render view looks amazing. All right, Eevee is Eevee is amazing. Just to, you know, burn through my British crowd. Just light up a little bit more with a neutral light. Maybe like have another rim light here. I think this one is a bit too colorized, maybe. This one's very subtle. This one might be too much. I don't know. Just to create a little bit more depth. Just really follow this line, huh? Yeah, there we go. Maybe zoom out a little bit. Reveal my monster. Oh yeah, add some color to it, you know. How about quick Control S? Thank you, Gregors. Plus 10 points for you. I'm going to do Control Shift S plus Enter for incremental save. Like especially for lighting, like this is something like people don't think about, but if you want to have great lighting, just copy lighting from don't copy it, but look at photography, look at the lighting, look at what crazy stuff they do, and just, you know, do that as well. Inspire yourself. Just a little lighter. Sure. What are you lighting? I'm not doing anything. No. Kind of want this to stay in shadow, so. That head be smaller? Nah, it's fine. It's kind of a big head, but let's keep on. Just a little bit small, maybe. And then we can maybe even rotate it a little bit so that we kind of break the symmetry, because I haven't really thought about that. Even put it like this. No. Just fine tuning. And in that fine tuning, I might drastically change the pose of everything. There we go. Finishing touch. There we go. I love that about 3D. Get traditional media, you wouldn't be able to pull that off last second. I maybe make this a little bit more to the reddish side. There you go. Alright. Let's try to render this out, see how it looks. Da 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 da. Oh. Okay. So one thing missing. I didn't go all the way enough with this. So I'm just gonna push this to 0.00 off. Remesh it. Okay. I'm just going to solid mode so I don't go to sculpting. Oops. Options. Hello. Studio. Or Matcap. Doesn't really matter. Sculpt mode once more. Kind of fix the shape in 2D view. Now we have a hard line here and kind of like, yes, there we go. Render this once more. Any more questions before I go off? Because I think we're about done here. Yes, I'm happy with this. I'm pretty happy with this, yeah. What do you think?
Oh, she's so pretty.
She's so cute, isn't she? Well, and it's time for poof. I want to thank my Patreon signaler for supporting me this today. Yeah, and I want to thank everybody who tuned in and asked questions. I'm gonna do more stuff in the future. I'm also going to do a sculpt tomorrow. I'm going to do a sculpt every day. I'm losing my sanity slowly. My name has been Cedric from Bandite, and I want to say bye to everybody. I'm going to take a quick nap. If I don't come back before you end the stream, then I just want to say I hope you have a nice day and evening and night or anything else. Bye bye. Read my chat. I read your chat. There you go. Have a nice nap. I also might have a nap or something. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yay.